Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Well, we moved a little bit higher overnight. I actually had an okay range overnight. They're actually getting some action this morning. Okay, so yesterday the FOMC meeting notes came out, and the big takeaway that I'm seeing from people is that the Fed remains unconcerned about any of the recent market action, and they still intend on raising rates. So now, unfortunately, the E-mini is still a little unhappy. It wasn't a huge move down, but they did move down a little bit, and that seems to have been slow rate limit exceeded. And that seems to have moved us down. So, that's why we moved up. So that's kind of where we're at. Okay. Well, let's post the links. So, well, there we go. So there's that one. And there's that one. Okay. So it looks like we could get some decent movement today, though. So I do want to take a shot, but I'm going to have to be cautious and really stick to the rules. Because of where we're at, we're in the bull bear zone, so we just kind of wait and see if it comes out and does something. But we got to be extra cautious because it's a Friday, and they could totally try some weird tricks on us. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I might be careful because I'm a little upset. Mm-mm-mm.
Block by.
Okay, so I want to buy off of that, but we are at the VWAP and we are still within the bull bear zone. So I think I'm going to need to see a further push up. Maybe if they start hitting into 30 half. Okay. So they're fighting back and forth there, and there's a lot of volume trading at that price. And gold is taking another dive. Well, let's check ourselves here. Somebody was buying it. It seems like generally the overall trend is up, and this is a potential VWAP bounce area. So I would like to see it buy, but somebody is clearly taking the other side of this. There is a big order down below us in ZF, so there is a possibility that we just move down a little bit to go towards that liquidity in ZF. This is super interesting that they're putting these out there so early. We have news in like 10 minutes, right? We do have the GDP, right? Let's see. I'm just not on the ball today. Okay, there's the poll. Okay. Oh, it's not GDP, it's PPI. So we're looking for 0.2.
Spot 6% month on
Holy
month.
shit.
Ex-food and energy month on month coming in at spot 5%. Year on year coming in at 2.9%. Ex-food and energy year on year coming in at 2.6%. Ex-trade coming in at 2.8% year on year. Ex-trade month on month coming in at spot 2%. So just to repeat that, my final demand month on month coming in at spot 6%.
Okay, that was a lot of absorption there at 28. Why would you do that?
Budget baseless. Old since worries about Italy budget are unfounded.
You see, they both went down on that. Treasuries went down and equities went down. So equities knew that that's going to increase rates. Like they have to increase rates. You see, I had that order there. I'm 600 in line, and they no way that they even got filled. Somebody just took the other side of like 20k orders there or something.
The trio and it will reaffirm the budget.
It may not seem like much. Okay. It may not seem like much because it's not moving. But what just happened right there was insane. I've never seen anything like that. Huge outsized number. But then somebody absorbed all of it when everybody sold. How is that even like? How does that even make sense? Is this guy gonna stop everybody out up to the upside, or what? No, I don't know. This should move down though. Based off of that number, I would expect it to move down. That doesn't mean that it has to. But I think that the business incentives for them to move down are very, very strong.
Says Italy
Okay.
central player in Europe.
This is really big. So how? Okay, so we did have a 0.4. That is a really big beat, though. We call it a beat. It's really more of a miss, but that for it to be that off is highly unusual. Like we have to go back to 2012 area, like recovery time period to get that. It's super unusual.
Eurogroup Centeno says there is much at European reform. Italy's contribution is valuable.
Well, I guess we have this big order in the 5-year to contend with, and that might be part of what's keeping us from going.
Says hopes Tria will present improved budget.
Like, we've got to, at the very least, be getting through yesterday's prices, if not past beyond that. I should calm down. I'm sitting here, and everything about the situation says to me that we should be breaking the overnight lows and the weekly lows and just going down and down and down, and it's just kind of sitting here. So this is certainly interesting. There's really, really big absorption in the 5-year. But I'm okay. So it pulled in the 5-year. Nobody's hitting it yet. I guess the E-mini moving down doesn't help either, does it? Yeah. I mean, ZB is going.
Fed to Williams, speaking sustainable growth depends on a healthy job market.
Now we have the Fed speaker talking. We're well below the bull bear zone in ZB, right? Yep. Well, I'm just gonna have to try and be patient and hope it works out.
Italy's Communist Italian forecasts were made in September, but we are monitoring the situation. Repeat that. Minister Tria says Italian economic forecasts were made in September. We are monitoring the situation. Tria says the case for an expansionary budget has strengthened since September.
They were making it look like it was gonna go through, and now they're kind of playing games with it again. We did break to the upside a little bit in the 5-year. Right. Well, it was a good tick down, even though the 5-year's not really. They ticked into the 31.5, huh? 31 3/4.
policy.
So they pulled back. They now if they come back down towards that big order, they could just fall right through it.
Maelstrom there in WT case against my duty. Sorry, we are keeping an eye on what Maelstrom is saying though. Brexit DUP's dodge ask is that PM May sticks to the clear commitments it's already made.
Well, I'm finding this really interesting because the 5-year ticked up and then back down. The 30-year barely came back up at all.
Agenda right now. So Centino saying sanctions agenda right.
So if we're going to steepen, then you want to sell the 30-year, right? And that could be what's going on. Eventually, the 30-year is going to drag us down, I think.
Tria says doesn't take for granted there will be excessive deficit proceedings against Italy. Tria says sharp deficit reduction at this point in the economic cycle. Side. Tria says many EU countries have broken EU fiscal agreement has always been reached. Centino says within the rules, beyond the rules, sustainability of public finances is what is.
This is really frustrating because we have all of the makings of a monster move in here, and it's just been really slow. I think that the dam is going to break eventually, and we are coming up to the 30 and 3/4 in the 5 year. Once we get below that, we could accelerate a little bit, and I do expect that we will test the lows of the day. But man, they might take all day to do it. I don't know. Maybe they were already very much short from yesterday. That's a lot of look at the watch, look at the 5 year.
Maelstrom here and the EU working as fast as possible US trade deal.
This is it's going well, guys. Just had to be patient. I want to put this down here. Maybe even down here. Not even joking. Yeah, I'm being super greedy, aren't I? If I see a pullback, I'm definitely going to take it, right? Interesting that you're seeing some fairly strong buying coming into the E-mini, but it's not really going yet. And it could continue to push us down. I haven't read it. Okay, well, that's coming back again still. And they left a big order at 30.5. The pressure does appear to have subsided a little bit in ZB. Good downtick though. E-mini had a good move up there as well.
Reserve Bank
you know.
meanwhile says central banks are reading April's stress capital buffer proposals in response to industry concerns. Proposals will aim to make rule requirements more predictable. Banks will publish re-proposal in the near future. The Fed should remove qualitative objection from annual bank stress tests.
All right. Well, it did come up.
Just heads up, Trump speaks at White House before departing for Europe.
So I thought when it came down there, oh, okay, maybe it'll keep going. But they did come up and they ticked. Did they? The chart doesn't actually show me going up there. But man, the 5-year just does not want to sell. It does not. This is the kind of move that I've misread before, and I realized that it can be really hard for a newer trader to see because the spreads make the order flow not what it should be, right? Like even here in the 30-year, you can see that the cumulative delta is not moving down significantly fast, even though we came down literally 16 ticks. And here in the 5-year, you can see that they just simply don't want to go down. And so it's a very easy to say that we're at support. And I do think that there's a good point there, and we could maybe get out and get back in. But the reason that you're getting so much support is because people are steepening the curve. And so what you're likely to see is the 30-year continue to move down and down and down and just kind of drag everybody down along with it, regardless of what the order flow is. Hmm. Picked up. So when it was at 27, I really should have gotten out, right? I was kind of sitting there like, well, I don't know if I want to get out to 27 and a half and 28, right? So I think I may have to hold through this pullback and hope that we're okay on that front. Oh, no, but I don't like that. In fact, exactly right here.
Block by.
Man. Well, I'm not going to give up on the trade. Even though that was a pretty strong move up on it. Hmm.
Some of the piece from Mass and optimistic on Brexit Accord, but preparing for no deal.
This isn't really a scalp anymore, though, is it? It's more of a swing. He's wrong. He's long in UB, huh? Hmm. It's okay. The trade is still proceeding. I mean, I missed one exit. That's disappointing because that's another potentially 4 ticks, but I think we're still going to get the trade that we want. So my impulse is giving me another. That one's gonna be interesting, very interesting.
EBOC here to keep policy continuity and stability. EBOC makes comments on policy report.
Okay, well, there's a lot of absorption coming back on the other way again. You need to see ZB drive it through, and at the moment, I don't think that they really want to do that. That or ES move up a little bit. So at the moment, I'm kind of more afraid that, like, you try and get out and you try and play the swing back, and you miss it, and then it takes the really big move and you're not in it. And I'm also afraid that it is going to continue moving down, but it's just going to do so extremely slowly, and you might not.
EBOC to make policy
Hold on.
flexible, targeted.
And it might not be until the pit close that it actually gets down to where it's supposed to, and it could actually run counter to how it's supposed to, or sorry, how I expect it to, until the end of my trading session. I've definitely seen that, right? Many times.
China central bank saying the yuan has been basically stable. China central bank to deepen interest rate reforms. PBOC says the economy is under increasing downward pressure. PBOC to carry out prudent neutral policy. China central bank to continue with reforms.
That's interesting. He didn't take any ticks, so he'll let the open decide, huh? So he seems to think that on the open they were going to move up. No. So the thing that I find interesting about this is that, because I think Trader is listening, right? So the thing that I find interesting about this is that I really don't see order flow, quote unquote, that is supporting really anything right now. Like, especially here in ZB, and we came down a little bit, and then it came off. We came down a little bit, and you're only talking about a couple hundred contracts. Only talking about, okay, so this one was 5,000 contracts that we came down. But we're kind of middling, and the delta is saying maybe we're going to bounce here and maybe we're not. And this is kind of flat too. It was really more the price action, right? It was like the way that it ticked down, it looked strong. They didn't continue ticking, then they ticked up, everybody turned around. Like it's hard to see from the market orders what's really going on. That's the price action. To me, order flow is the pace and imbalance of market orders versus the changes in level 2. So there was a pretty strong uptick. Pulling in ZB. E-mini's not opening. E-mini's kind of doing some crazy things.
China central bank to push for foreign institutions to invest in domestic bond markets.
Oh, well, they seem to care about what the E-mini is doing a lot more. Alright, here they're going to open. Yeah. Oh, he's going long. Seems pretty strong correlation right now, though. Well, it's getting awfully thick now.
Some people you'll see that trade friction.
I don't know. So where ZB is at is actually right where they were before the last push down on its own. The E-mini looks like it has strong support here. Well, that buying there is awfully unusual. So am I seeing the thing that I need to see in ZF to... They are kind of at it's the top of the range, but they're not necessarily broken through. In fact, there is a lot of iceberging there at evens. Yep, stopped out. Oh. Now just wait. I'm gonna take it short again. Wow, he got 16 at it when he was looking to get out at 13. So what was the news price? The news price was... Oh, well, it's past it now, actually. No, too much.
Trump has signed
Okay, how much has the F moved?
It's quarrels now. Risks.
So let's check CNBC. Did they have, was there some company earnings or something that well, they halted the Keystone Pipeline. I know that. That is kind of a big deal, but
Head as following clear. Quarrels.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little suspicious because the E-mini is kind of doing like a V-shaped bottom sort of a thing. But when I look at it on my Vista chart, it kind of looks like a bull trap. I like where Treasuries just went there though. So there's that, which is nice. They're actually buying really strong now in the E-mini. Hmm. Well, I like the size behind me, but they just ticked up there.
Minutes 9. Sentiment reading from the power of 96. Breakdown conditions 0.9 expected against power of 1. Conditions 7.2 power of 8. 1 year inflation of power of 2. 10 year 2.4%. Well, beginning the US host freeze of September, the final reading month 0.3 expected unchanged prior sales month 0.4%.
Well, I liked the short. Maybe we're gonna get another tick down, but I'm starting to not like it anymore simply because it's just way too dominated by the E-mini. You know what I mean? You know, this is 100% has to do with whether the E-mini goes and makes a new low or not. It'd be better to just be hedged against the E-mini. I see why they do it, because I could go short both of these and make money off of the oscillations rather than playing outrights. You see 4K hit into that too.
The US political. Of
Yeah, this is just not. We don't know which way it's gonna go. I'm kind of wondering if it's gonna give me an out or if they're gonna stack. Oh, I don't have the. I'm not really using the Elder Impulse thing. Although the Elder Impulse did still set buy, so. But I don't really have that one set up right. That's something different. That's for an automated strategy that I'm still working on. What I'm looking at right now is just that there was an iceberg at 31. So I'm not sure if I should get out here or if I should just wait and see if they get below it. I'm kind of watching this E-mini thing too, because it depends more on that. They're so close, I'd be surprised that they're not going to try and go for it again, but there's definitely people buying in here. I don't think that they're going to win though. You see, well, so now he's stacking up. Seem very much trapped here. I don't know. The buyers might pull it out here in ES. So they did breach a new high there. The E-mini did not make a new low. Buyers are trying really hard, but they're not getting it yet. Hmm.
Bit of auto news. VW is said to be investment partner. Under 3 minutes time now. Remember again the preliminary number 90 euro expected. Well, the US will sell inventory 3% prior first. One minute. Ten seconds. .98.3, 98.3 limit. Current conditions at 113. Expect 7, 8%, 5 to 10 year 2.6%. Wholesale matrices month to month 0.4%, is beating expectations of 0.3, while the trade sales month to month 0.2%, revised to 7%. And that was 98.3, beating estimates at 98.0 on the breakdown. Current conditions at 113.2, expectations at 88.7, while the 1 year inflation at 2%, 5 to 10 at 2%. Wholesale inventories month to month at 0.4% expected. Looking on the breakdown as well on the wholesale sales, the stock to sales ratio is 1.26 months worth versus the prior 1.
And so that tick was interesting because that was a potential level break setup, and they slammed it down pretty hard. So the seller is trying to catch somebody. I don't know why I did that. I wanted to see if I was going to get the spread in ZB, because I thought that I saw the edge there. Why am I? Did I make that little boo boo again? Yes. Okay. I don't understand what you're saying there, trader. I would sell ZN, your place ZB, for example. I mean, where I sold that in, ZN definitely did not end up being the right spot, did it? It was 31. So you sold it there. I got a little bit off of it, and then I went on to the other side of it.
Very cool. If you put it here, remember Brexit Summit weekend as the sure ideal for the
10K there now? No way. What? Sell ZN and buy ZB? Why? You think that we're gonna flatten? So you mean you gonna pull out of this? Kind of seems like that to get this trade, it would have to be. Oh, okay. So then you need short. No, so I can see. I'm sorry, I've been ignoring you guys in YouTube, but it looks like you guys are having a good conversation. The guy who said add more contracts have a right. If you feel comfortable trading one lot on ZB market, you can easily trade 3 lots on the ZN. It's the same risk. This is easy to trade with multiple contracts. You can take some profit and hold the rest. Yeah, it's totally right. It's just I can't. When I go live, it's going to be one contract. So shouldn't I practice with one contract? That's how I look at it. I would love to trade with multiple contracts because I can totally see these things where it's like there's a like if I had 2 contracts, I don't intend to have 2 contracts. Oh gosh, I didn't intend to have 2 contracts, but if I did, I would have taken one of them off there at 18, probably. So it's 4 ticks in ZB, and you can see that that's kind of like the bottom of that range. This is just, they only care about what ES is doing. It's totally, yeah, Bob says practice like you play. It's just, I don't know. They only care about what ES is doing, especially the 10-year. ZB is actually doing okay, right? But there's no point even trading this, I don't think, because it's only it's 100% dependent on how far ZB goes. Oh, sorry, Big Mama. Okay, let me. No, that's not it. This one. I mean, I still like it in ZN short too. See, like this right here. I love that. Like, that looks great. I'm gonna take it, but I'm on tilt at this point, right? I used to do Bitcoin when it was at 18. Nope. Nope, it's still going, right? The equities are really freaking out here. Did I take it like the full stop twice in Zien, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, I actually took 3 of those. That's bad. Super bad. How far down is E-mini gone? I guess they're not like panicking too much, but can't fight that trend in the E-mini. Mm. Well, they could just do this all day, guys. So look at ZN. +3 at ZN and buy EG at that moment, if you followed that. I guess I don't understand what you're saying. Oh. Hmm. Oh. 2 tumbles. That's interesting.
The green. Pass it.
Anyways, so what happened was I had a good short. I saw a potential pullback. I ignored it because we had a good tick down, which was a trick to keep me in. When I realized that it was a trick, I didn't get out. And then I tried shorting the pullback and fighting against pretty strong move up. So I'm gonna, have to say I'm still on tilt, and I definitely feel tilted because, from my perspective, That was a great fucking trade. I still want to be in that trade. I still want to be short ZB. Like all of this noise just makes me want to be more short. But as long as the E-mini is selling, it's never going to work. But 22 was my price in ZB, so that's the place we'll catch it. I'm not, obviously I can't take a trade because I'm going to be leaving soon, but if I could keep trading, I would. And of course I hadn't taken losses today. Like, let's say that I had taken the 4-tick profit and then maybe even reversed and got some of this move up, or even let's say I just had stayed out of it, which obviously I didn't do and I wouldn't have done, but just for the sake of argument, let's say that that's what's happened. I would be thinking I want to go short at 22 in ZB. Like that's the trade. I don't know if the E-mini is going to let up. Yep. Anyways. So, I enjoy all of the help in the discussion, guys. Even though I know I'm on tilt and I ignore you, but part of it is that, like, if somebody comes in and says something, I still have to do the thing that I think it's going to do, right? But, obviously, my decision making past 2 days is not so great, and today particularly because I was upset from losing yesterday. I feel tired. I'm kind of pissed about getting banned from the r/Salt Lake City subreddit, which I don't want to go into, but it was totally undeserved and very unjust, I think. It's, to me, I'm being politically suppressed. So that's got me pissed off. And then I'm pissed off because I had a really, really good trade and the market has decided to interrupt that great trade with this nonsense. Like if you want to sell it, then sell it. But good grief, this constant, like, the world is coming to an end bullshit is just dumb, I think. I really thought that there was a good chance that they should that they would both go down, right? That the treasuries were going to go down and the E-mini was going to go down, and I thought on the open, okay, maybe this correlation will change. Treasuries will keep going down, and then the ES will go down too, and then the correlations will break, and then it just keep going and going and going, and it never did. So they were sitting over there getting ready to sell the E-mini, and they were buying up treasuries to hedge themselves for it. 100%. So yeah, I'm pissed. World is not coming to an end. The market will always be there. There's always another day to trade. Now, I just meant that the degree and the velocity with which the E-mini is trading, they are trading it like they think the world is coming to an end. They are acting like we're in the middle of a financial crisis. I guess it's not as bad as it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it's just, some of this is just not reasonable, in my opinion. Yeah, Bob's dude. Yeah, I know. Like just look at this chart. Where's my pen? I'm going to minimize this window here. Move that like it down over here or something. Why is that there? Why is something all the way over there? I need to clean up my desktop. It was CF. No, this CF. Okay. So like to me, if we're selling, I could do this. Okay. Okay. I could do this. You know, that to me is like reasonable, normal market action. What are they doing? It's just that right there. Look at the trajectory of that. Whoosh, whoosh. Maybe they're done. Maybe. I think they could do that though. They could do that. They could just keep going. So when they're acting like that, and I want to trade treasuries, how you're supposed to trade them, right? Well, there's three things that you can do. There's three things that you can do here in this situation, I think, or at least this is how I've been trading it. One is you can just buy, see that the E-mini is going to do its thing, and you can buy the treasuries on the expectation that they're going to hedge, and that might work and that might not, because that correlation can just break immediately. So it's a poor probability trade, right? Option number two, and the one that I think is probably the best, is if E-mini is the dominant factor in the trading action that morning, just trade the E-mini. I think that works great. And even if you were thought that it was going to reverse, you could have made money on this and this, right? And it would be a lot easier to catch that than it would be to catch the pullbacks in ZB, right, where you're only getting 2 ticks. And then your third option is probably what I should have done, which is just don't trade it. But I can't seem to do that, you know. That wouldn't be any fun for you guys to watch, right? Oh man. But like I said before, I made a mistake yesterday. Like it was like the trading strategy says do this, and I didn't do the right thing. Today was kind of like trading strategies is I did it. I had the winner. I didn't take it off the right time. It's, you know, was okay to wait through the pullback and see it do the thing, and it just didn't. And then the all chaos broke out where it's not going to, where my strategy isn't going to trade it well, and you know, so then that's okay. Like it's okay to take a loss on a day like today. It's okay to take a loss on a day like yesterday after what eventually ended up happening, but that particular trade was just really, really poor. I'm just not thinking straight, guys. It's funny to I mean, isn't it funny to listen to me talk about it? Because I know what can happen, and I understand what's going on, and yet I lack the ability to make the right choice and make money off of it. It's super frustrating. Bum, 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 bum. You are getting a really good counter trend though. But ZB is like dead. I think you go short at 22. I don't know. Maybe 23, maybe you can get 23, but Probably 22. All right. Well, I am going to head out, and I will see you guys next week. And hopefully by then I will have a hold on myself, and we can go back to doing well, because I was doing really, really well last week and earlier this week, and we can continue to do that. And we have a tilt, and then some of this was experimentation. Like, obviously I would never let it go 200 in a day. That's not okay. And probably I need to make a choice. Either I can experiment, and if I'm going to experiment, then I should just trade 2 lots. But if I'm not going to experiment, I'm going to trade like when I'm going to trade live, then I need to start practicing the point at which I quit. So, yep. I will catch you guys